Steve, first of all, how much of a revelation is this? Could this, for example, because of these new allegations, scupper a possible Deutsche Bank Commerzbank merger?
Yeah, so let me address the merger question in a minute. Let's just focus on what does it mean? I do think, of course, the question how much Deutsche Bank, how much its compliance and know your customer procedures were up to the task back in the days. I think that's an important question. Regulators and prosecutors are looking at that right now, and that poses a risk. And that, of course, then poses a certain risk for the merger itself, because depending on how much, if any, legal fine Deutsche Bank will end up paying for this, that could, of course, change the equation, the deal rationale in the talks that's going on between Commerzbank and Deutsche Bank right now.
To any of you on Global Wall Street, I tweeted out this story earlier. I can't say enough about it as the must-read on Global Wall Street today. Steve Arons, deep in the article is the idea that European Deutsche Bank essentially told New York Deutsche Bank what to do. Is that the perception in Frankfurt? I mean, in the mix of watching the European banks, and in this case Deutsche Bank, do they really tell New York Deutsche Bank what to do?
I think when you look at Deutsche Bank, and I imagine with any vast global organization, but particularly I know this about Deutsche Bank, it's always a question who's in charge. And back in the days when this was happening, it was actually New York was more in charge than Frankfurt. I've heard complaints from people regulators here who weren't really able to talk about regulatory issues with anyone because the phone number was in the US and the people here didn't really speak English anyway. Yeah. So Deutsche Bank has always been a wide conglomeration of different centers of power, and that's always been a problem. When you talk about compliance and you don't really have oversight over that big organization, that's difficult.